Hey, welcome into another version of the Artist Lounge on Mixed Country 96. I'm the Wild Irishman, Michael Daugherty. Glad to have you along. And you know what? I've got some guys with me who have kind of jumped into this thing new and raw and fresh, but I have a feeling that there's a story that we don't know, and we're going to find out what it's all about. These are the Wilson Brothers, and you may have heard their new single, Loving You, Loving on Me, on Mixed Country 96, and they're in town.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Glad to be here. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, glad to have you along. And, you know, this is interesting for me because you guys actually pitched the song to me yourself. Normally, and for people who don't know how this works, but normally we get calls from record promoters or record labels and they pitch songs to us and say, hey, listen to this or listen to that. And every once in a while, matter of fact, I just got off the phone a little while ago with someone who was doing exactly what you guys were doing initially, and that is calling radio stations yourself and pitching the song. Doesn't happen a lot, happens a little bit, and you guys not only did it, but had some success with it.
We did, we sure did. And you're one of the first people to add us, so we sure appreciate that.
And that song is doing very well on the charts. Let's introduce everybody. Start with Bobby.
Bobby Spence, drummer.
Okay.
And box player.
Box player. And I get the feeling there's more to that story too. But we will.
I'm Kyle.
Okay.
And I'm Chad.
Yeah. Okay. Now there's one more. Is there one more member? Or is he just Paul just kind of around? Is that?
We have a full 6-piece band.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Doing stuff like this, we just keep it minimal.
So how long have you guys been together?
Well, we're brothers, so.
Well, you two have been together for a long
Not a
time.
whole lot. But no, we've been playing in Nashville for years, but we've been the Wilson Brothers band probably a little over 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Going on 2 years ago.
2 years.
Now, how did it come about that? Because you know, a lot of times when we get songs where someone calls, they've recorded themselves, or they've had a friend record themselves, or they've gone to a studio and spent some. Obviously, the first thing that hit me was, okay, this has been produced right. Who produced the song?
Chris Rowe, Love Shack Studios in Nashville.
Okay, so you guys obviously did it right as far as that concerned. Was the band who actually produced the song as well? Was it the 6-piece band that normally goes out on the road, or did you have some session
The
players?
session players.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How different was that from what you're used to? Or is this the first time you've recorded?
No, we've been recording for many years, solo projects. We had a project together years ago, and so we've had a lot of time in the studio.
Okay.
And this project kind of came about with Bobby calling us up, and I was kind of out in Texas doing my own thing, and we both had independent careers for a little while, and Bobby called us up and was like, hey, let's give this another run and make it happen. And so I ended up back in Nashville, and we went in and cut, was it 5 sides?
Yeah.
We already had 4 or 5 from the past that we still wanted to use, so we kind of went in and updated them a little bit, redone the guitar work, the vocal work. Ended up putting together this album, and that's what we've been touring on the past year and a half.
Now, who's singing lead? I'm going to ask that question, but I think I know who it is. Just
Nobody ever knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes we just switch lines just to pick people.
It's obviously
Switch hats.
yeah. There you
Switch
go. That hat right there, which I like, by the way.
Pork pig.
Let's talk about before we get into the song here. What else is it that we don't know about? You got 5 songs on an EP. Have you put it on an EP, or how's that?
No, we released a whole record.
Yeah.
Full
You've
record.
done a whole record now.
Now, this was the first one we've come to radio with.
Yeah.
The first one we actually released off the record, we released streams, Spotify, but we also released it to CMT, and we debuted #1 with our very first video.
That's what we did.
It's called "It All Looks Good From Here."
Okay.
So this is the first time we've experienced radio, and we maybe have one more off this record, but we're going to be recording some more. So.
Okay. So tell you what, can you play the first song you released to CMT?
Sure.
Is that good?
Absolutely.
You've got it.
It all looks good.
We've
from
got
here.
all the stuff we need, right?
Right here. You're
Okay.
you're gonna be our rhythm section.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
We're gonna get him in a rhythm section. Tap right here when I tap.
Since you're closer to that camera, keep in mind.
Yeah, I will.
There.
All right.
nothing I can do about this crazy weather. Grab a cup of coffee as I pass by my 3 weeks and tired of all the bad news. It takes more than a storm to put a damper on the cloud of my point of view. I got an old, worn out Chevy passed down through my family line. Some kind of old dog showed up a warning, so I beat him and I called him mine. A clean place to live, a warm place to make love, front porch and a rocking chair. There ain't no doubt about it, don't know how I got it, but it all looks good from here. My little woman's in the kitchen, whooping up on the chicken, good potatoes, making sweet iced tea. The whole family's coming over, cause the game's on the 7th. It's sure hard sight to see, but I can make up the money after church on Sunday. I couldn't tell my name's Grant. Give it all for the world, but I wouldn't think of trading, cause I'm happy right where I'm at. I got an old, worn out Chevy passed down through my family line. Some kind of old dog showed up a warning, so I beat him and I called him mine. A clean place to live, a warm place to make love, front porch and a rocking chair. There ain't no doubt about it, don't know how I got it, but it all looks good from here. I got an old, worn out Chevy passed down through my family line. Some kind of old dog showed up a warning, so I beat him and I call him mine. A clean place to live, a warm place to make love, front porch and a rocking chair. There ain't no doubt about it, I don't know how I got it, but it all looks good from here. There ain't no doubt about it, I don't know how I got it, but it all looks good from here. Oh, it all looks good, no doubt about it. Oh, it all looks good, no doubt about it. Yes, it all looks good.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you,
guys.
thank you, thank you.
That was great. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you start? Who taught you how to play guitar? Let's start with that.
We come from a pretty musical inclined family. Our grandparents had a gospel group that we kind of grew up in, a Southern gospel group. So basically our granddad taught us how to play, and he kind of just went from there, really.
How about you, Bobby?
Play it with these guys or just myself?
Just
playing?
yourself. How
Oh, my
did you pick up
goodness.
the drums? And
Picked up the drums at 13 and been playing ever since. Played all over, country music, rock music. And, you know, I kind of when I really started playing country music, it was with these guys right here. They're such great writers and good singers. It's hard not to play well with somebody like this.
So tell me a little bit about your influences. I'm going to guess, obviously, the Southern gospel you mentioned has got a little bit in that. Who else was an influence for you guys?
Anywhere between Boys and Men and Jim Croce to Axl
Ray
Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I mean, George Jones.
This first record we ever bought, we ever got. We grew up in a pretty conservative Christian home. And we went to a private Christian school, our early grades. And we wasn't allowed any kind of outside influence. But I remember the day that we got our first CD, it was Randy Travis, Digging Up Bones. And I'm telling you what, that was it. That's all it took. Just listen to that one voice of country music, and we knew that was what we wanted to do.
Well, it's interesting you mention him because when he was first coming out, he had a lot of pressure on himself as far as, the industry had kind of tabbed him as the new savior of country music, and he lived up to that, that's for sure. He's got a heck of a voice, and he's a heck of a guy as well. Let's talk about where you grew up a little bit. South Alabama?
It's kind of central part of the state. About an hour south of Birmingham and about an hour east of Montgomery. So kind of like the little triangle right there, close to the Georgia line. Little small town, home of Russell Athletic. Some people might be familiar with that. Big textile company.
So if I'm driving to Destin, which I do every once in a while, I'm going to guess I'm about 50 miles probably.
Well, it depends on which way you go. The old, what they considered like the Florida.
I go the back way. Let me.
If you go down 280,
You know where I'm talking about, right? The back way.
you
You don't go very fast on those roads. Let me put it that way.
It was like the they called it something at one time, like the Florida something back way or whatever. But you go right through there. You go right down 280. You go right through that way.
Sure.
Well, that's interesting. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now. Obviously, you've got some good radio play going on with your new single. How is that affecting you guys? You're obviously on a radio tour. Have you ever done a radio tour before?
Not like this. No, not at all.
We're very blessed. We're blessed that we have a lot of people that, like what we're doing, believe in what we're doing. We get to travel all over the country and meet new people like yourself, and that has helped us out, like I say, from the beginning. So, it's an honor for us to travel and meet everybody.
We're going to have to get you guys up here in concert somewhere. This is
Yeah, absolutely.
that first
Love
song
to.
was very good. Obviously, we're playing your new single, and how did that song come about?
Oh, I wanted to tell you this real fast though. A lot of people don't know this. We're talking about where we come from. We actually lived here in Missouri at a younger age. Our dad ran a track ministry over in Springs.
Sweet Springs.
Sweet Springs.
Sweet Springs. Okay.
And I was really young. He remembers more than I do, but I remember the snow as a really young kid.
Well, we got some rain the other day and some warm weather to wipe all that snow off for you before you came, because you'd have been here like last week at this
That's
time.
what I was just talking about.
Yeah, there would have been about 6 inches still on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the warm weather over the weekend certainly helped that. As far as the song is concerned, the single that you've got, is that something you guys wrote, or who wrote it?
We wrote it together.
Yeah.
That's one of our easier tunes that we've written.
Started on the front porch and ended up moving it inside and finishing up. And, some songs come to you and some songs don't. That sort of came easy to us. We probably had that in first word to the last word in less than 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird how that happens sometimes
It sure
when
is.
you're writing. I used to try and write. This has been a long time ago, and and unfortunately I never saved anything that I did. But you kind of get. I can't describe it. You're kind of in a zone, and it's like all of a sudden words just start coming to you, and they make these together really well. And I think a lot of songwriters would say the same thing. Not that I don't consider myself a songwriter, but a lot of people who write like that would say the same thing. Sometimes things just click like that.
Some of the biggest hits were written in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It don't mean they're all like that, though.
Well, we were going to go out on the front porch and write a song here in just a few minutes. We'll
Come back and play it with you.
let's hear the new song.
This is the one everybody's helping us with. This is called Loving You, Loving On Me.
Met her on the corner at her mama's fruit stand just a few years ago. Felt all in for a sweet Georgia peaches, and I swore I'd never let her go. this all can be denied. You'll need a four-wheel drive with a sense of direction if you're gonna find where we're at. We got our own way of living, cause we enjoy being butt naked, running around all day. And when the sun goes down and she gives me that look, I know it's time to go get and play. Girl, I love the way you like it. I dig it when you dig it on me. With you, girl, right beside me, there's no place I'd rather be. When you start to smile and your blue eyes shine, you got me going out of my mind. So let the world keep turning, the home fire's burning, I'm loving you, loving on me. Oh, oh, oh. Loving you, loving on me. You start to smile and ain't no blue eyes shine, you got me going out of my mind. Girl, I love the way you like it, I dig it when you dig it on me. With you, girl, right beside me, there's no place I'd rather be. And you start to smile and ain't no blue eyes shine, you got me going out of my mind. So let the world keep turning, the home fire's burning, loving you, loving on me. So let the world keep turning, the home fire's burning, loving you, loving on me. 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 Loving on you, loving on me.
Yeah.
All right, loving you, loving on me. Guys, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us, buddy. We
Thanks
sure
for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The Wilson
Yeah,
Brothers Band. That's another artist spotlight on Mixed Country 96.